Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, and today we're going to look at business development companies. If that is what you're interested in, stick around. So my name is Brad, and I've been covering business development companies for a long time. Actually, it was one of the first videos I actually did was about business development companies. But first of all, the link to the latest data is in the pinned comment. It's also going to be in the description. Also, the source for this information is in the pinned comment and in the description. Full disclosure, I go out and download the data and I just convert it over to an Excel spreadsheet and then I put it into Google Docs. And that way I can sort through things. But let's go ahead and look at some of the business development companies out there. And let's talk about holding them as a ETF. PBDC is going to be the first one we look at. I'm going to go ahead and look at their holdings, and Blue Owl Capital, Blackstone Secured Lending, Ares. I see a bunch of funds, or actually business development companies, that I like, and I get why PBDC holds them. The next one we're going to look at is BISD, because this is more of an index for business development companies. If I look at that one, Ares Capital, Blue Owl Capital, Blackstone Security, Maine, it's basically a lot of the same funds, or I keep on saying funds, business development companies. It's the same business development companies. You can see their holdings. That's very interesting how certain ones always seem to gravitate to the top. We're going to take a look at price return. This is just price return. If I look at price return of BISD, the S&P 500, PBDC, and Maine, you can see who the leaders actually are. It looks like PBDC on price return does better on a 5-year chart. If I look at Maine, it clearly does extremely well. And there you have price return of the S&P 500. As you guys all know, price return isn't everything. Let's look at total return and what total returns are saying. If I bring up total returns on a chart, you can see Maine pretty much destroys all of them. PBDC is in second, followed by the S&P 500, and then BISD happens to be last. So there you have the actual numbers for you to make a decision about your business development companies. But let's go ahead and start digging through the data and picking out the ones that I prefer using my filters that I just not really designed. I just chose a couple filters to get me down to the best business development companies. If we take a moment and look at what a hypothetical investment in BISD since 2013 looks like, you can see on the chart that really it started to go up around 2015. Just keep that in mind that this has been out for a while. We're just going to go ahead and say it's not a bad fund, but it is an index. For everybody that doesn't know, I go out to Raymond James and download the data. And one thing that I like to look at when there are graphs and charts is I like total assets under management. And this is in millions, and you can see how these are. Now, I tend to stay with the larger players, although you can always find some gems in the rough with smaller players. I just tend to stay with the larger players. Then you have price to NAV, and you can take a look at that and say, hey, Maine at that 1.77 is extremely high, but it usually tends to be that high. That is where they normally are. If I look at base dividend yield, well, I just look and see what the average is, more or less, keeping in mind that the higher the base dividend yield, the riskier probably these are. Total dividend yield, well, that's just adding in any special dividends that they actually pay. Again, not overly excited about the extreme high payers. Last one I'm going to look at is debt to equity. And I saw somebody come out just recently and said debt to equity on CSWC was 0.85. Well, I would double check that data because Raymond James tells me that CSWC, wow, it's 108 debt to equity. That's interesting. Institutional ownership. Oh, institutional ownership was not on my data before, but I have added that data to the spreadsheet for this month. So the spreadsheet, FYI, has 3 different months in it. So you can actually look at this over 3 different months and see how things have changed. In my original video, we're going to go back to my original video and look at some of the data of my selection. So if I look at my original first video, hey, I had Aries Capital, Blue Owl, Blackstone, Maine, Hercules, and Trinity. And they were giving me a 1-year past history return of 14.1% and a base yield of 9.5. In my second video, you can see that, hey, some of them went down over time, and that was a little more of dip in the market to 8.5%, but my base yield was 10.5 and my total yield was 11. What worried me in the past, and it still worries me today, is debt to equity of Blue Owl Capital. I like that 125, and you can see that they were both 125 on that graph. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the data and I'm going to break it down to, I want the big players. When I do this, you can see that I picked anything over $900 million. And it really just gets me down to the main big players. The same big players that you'll find in PBDC are actually in this chart. The next one I do is I look at returns. When I look at the returns, I tend to stay somewhere closer to the positive than the negative. Why are you going to pick something that has been beaten down unless something has changed? Every quarter, these guys come out with non-accruals. That's also in the sheet. So the non-accruals for the first quarter were published just recently. And you can see the ones that I chose still are ranging about where I want them. Maine went up a little bit higher compared to the average. No cause for alarm yet, but I'm just watching this over time because you do not want non-accruals to get too high. Lastly, I break this down to everything that I have data set for. When I look at this, here is the top picks. You can see that mine are still in the top picks, but I gave you 3 more that are interesting, especially MSDL. That one appears to be Morgan Stanley Direct Lending and coming up from behind. So it might be something on your radar to watch out for. Although the last 12 months, it's down a little bit, but keep in mind that this might be something that you may be interested in. And lastly, let's go ahead and talk about Brad's investments. Brad bought 6 individual business development companies, and he holds PBDC and BISD. And where am I at right now compared to my cost basis? Well, PBDC is 2.84 above my cost basis. BISD is 1.88 and ARCC is 7.26. Not bad. The only one that is below my cost basis is Trinity. Now, the smaller funds that I have are business development companies or the individual ones. And I have the drip turned on. I keep on trying to add to them here and there, a couple shares as we go. But at the end of the day, I want to get those 6 a little bit larger and keep PBDC and BISD. Now, all honesty, I take 100% of their distributions because there's really no NAV erosion that everybody loves to use down in the comments with those funds, at least for me. buying the dips might be something I need to do a little more often in these business development companies. Having those 6 funds on drip really help battle any kind of NAV erosion. Kind of wish they were a little bit larger, but hey, NAV erosion is a true thing and you have to be aware of it, especially with the cover calls and being on top of that. But if you look at business development companies, they do get hit, price goes up and down, but long-term price returns have been pretty good over the last 5 years. So keeping something like this in a diversified portfolio on top of cover calls, preferred stocks, and a little bit of BTCI can really help out in the long run. So until next time, God bless.